What's up, Scott? Nope, account's not down. If you've signed in from a bunch of different IP addresses, security's probably locked you out. Which I haven't posted plays today, so there would be no reason to log in. What's your username? Oh, Jerry, I still feel like complete shit. I feel awful. The thing is, I feel 10 times better than I did, and I still feel awful. I just can't go another day without trying to do my normal routine. I mean, obviously, still done plays, still done breakdowns, still done all that because, I can't not do that. But everything seems so weird because I'm not doing my normal daily routine. I'm not doing free play videos for a couple days. Haven't done a live show since Saturday, so I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here, guys. I'm gonna try to go till 4 o'clock. We'll just see how it goes. What's up, Eric? What's up, Roland? Yeah, my oldest daughter had it. Now my youngest has it, or I say she has it. She has a fever, and she's in the bed right now. So we'll see what comes of it. So just to make everybody aware, we're gonna try to do our normal show. We'll do some free plays, we'll do some breakdowns, but once we break down something, if you come in late or whatever, or you miss it, you will have to go back and rewatch it. We're not going to stay live for long, so I'm not going to burn the whole show up by discussing, one game 4 different times. Jerry, I don't know. I'm hoping that I can make that public. I've gotten word of who it was, but I haven't gotten 100% confirmation. And I'm not going to be the person that goes and puts that out there and then it be wrong. But if it is the person that I was told, then it was a person that really wanted Ken Griffey Jr. to be a unanimous decision. And so apparently he had reached out to some people on the East Coast who weren't thinking of potentially, voting Jeter in. And Ken Griffey Jr. in, which they know it doesn't matter. They knew he was getting in, but they really wanted him to be unanimous. And so he asked, like, hey, man, please. And then there was a guy who was like, nope, I'm not going to do it because I want Derek Jeter to be the first position player to be unanimous. And so they didn't, just because of that reason right there alone. And so the person that I've been told that did not vote Jeter in is actually the person that requested that. And because of it, he was like, well, screw it. If that's what the way they want to play, then I'm not going to vote Jeter in. Which, if I find all this to be true, then I think all of them should be exiled from from the Writers Association. I don't think they should be allowed to cast a vote. This is the Hall of Fame. If they're a Hall of Famer, vote them in. Stop, playing this shit, because I can promise you the player doesn't care. The player just wants in. Oh, Colton, I feel awful. I do not feel good at all. Let me look at this account real quick. Tyler M75. And I know that I've said it 1,000 times. If I haven't sent an email out about the plays, there's no benefit to you logging in. Because I send an email out the very second. Yep, it says that account sharing prevention limits have been exceeded, which means that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 IP addresses, different IP addresses that I've seen in the last 48 hours, security will flag that each and every time. Now, Tyler, I'm not saying that you are doing any of this. Obviously, you're using different IP addresses. That's not anything that can be misconstrued. But I'm not saying that you're letting your buddy or something log in. But that's a big problem we have in this industry, is that somebody will come and buy something. They'll give multiple people access to their account. That is obviously a very big no-no. And that's why I pay as much money as I do to have 24-hour security on everything. And when you do that, it will flag you each and every time. So I'm going to go in and do a one-time override. But if it does it again, they will make you stay locked out for 48 hours. So you're good now. But like I said, unless you're making a purchase, you're not benefiting yourself by logging in. Until you get that email, there is no... you're not going to get anything when you log in. You're just going to see what was there yesterday. Just a heads up. But your account should be good now. All right. So I started working on today's card last night, and I actually really like today's card. I like the selections that we have. Past few days really hasn't been that great of a card. If anybody read my write-up last night, obviously you saw that I really like Duke, but I wasn't going to label it a true top play because of the two losses that they had. And it wasn't the losses that made me do it. It was the losses because they're freshmen. Because both of those games they lost because of how young they are. It's not because they were, not the better team. It wasn't because they didn't necessarily, play better than Louisville. They made rookie mistakes. And it happens. It's to be expected with any team that is that young. But I also had the feeling that Coach K was going to have those boys dialed in and fearing for their lives. And I think we saw last night that they were. Duke played incredible. They played like the best team in the country, which I still stand behind the fact that they are. So that would have been my top play, but I didn't personally label that. I know a lot of my customers did because I put in my write-up that was going to be my top play. San Diego State proved again last night why they are smoke and mirrors. I'm glad that they're 19-0. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing, but I'm sorry. You beat Wyoming at home by 18? That's it's not impressive to me. That's like beating a real school by 5. So yeah, that could be it. It's like if you're at home and you're on like your Wi-Fi on your phone and then you leave, and you're on like a cell tower or something, it's gonna. Danny, no, I don't think UNC bounces back tonight. One thing I do like about UNC tonight is that this is going to be a good matchup as far as the way teams play. So I don't think that it's going to be a runaway. But no, I don't think they bounce back. Yeah, I was actually watching the Kansas game last night. I tuned into the first 2 periods of the Rangers game, and then I watched the entire second half of the Kansas State game because I did have money on Kansas, and I watched it. So he's suspended indefinitely. The Big 12 is supposed to have all of their disciplinary actions presented by in the morning. I think they'll come out today. And then the NCAA is going to review them, and if they don't think that they are harsh enough, then the NCAA will step in and add to it. Problem is, Kansas is really hurting themselves with this, for what they can do down the road. So here's my take on it. Dane, I appreciate it. I'm not. I feel awful. I'm hoping that I can get through an hour of this. But anyway, here's my take on it. And first and foremost, let me say this. I still wholeheartedly believe that Duke is the best team in the country. Now, right now, I don't have Duke ranked number one. And that's because of the 2 losses that they took. So I still have to go off of the numbers. But we'll go over my updated top 25 in a minute. And I'll give you some things, and it'll make a lot of sense. But here's my take on the Kansas brawl last night. The game was over. It was over. Now, here's things that I like and dislike about it. So Kansas State steals the ball with what? 5 seconds, 6 seconds left when Kansas was obviously trying to run the clock out. Now, you were down by what? 20, 23, I think, at that point. At that point on the road, down by 23, less than 10 seconds, yes, I would be okay as a coach to say, just let it go. There's nothing you can do. But I am for, and I've said it 1,000 times, I am for teams playing to the buzzer. Whether they're down by 100 or whether they're up by 100, until that buzzer sounds, you play and you give it your all, especially in college sports. So I commend Kansas State for going in and saying, screw it, you're going to let me have it, I'm going to steal the ball, I'll go up, get a easy layup. It doesn't mean anything, but it's 2 points added on to what I've done for the night, and it's a nice way to end the game. But at the same time, when you do that, I commend Kansas even more, because any other team out there would have been like, yeah, whatever, let him have the free layup or free dunk. Game's over, we still win by over 20. He went up there and was like, hell no, and absolutely tattooed that ball out of there and was like, nope. Now, do I agree with him shit-talking a little bit afterwards? Yes. Do I agree with him standing over him? No. But I don't think he would have done that had he not thought that the game was over, which I thought the game was over too. So the buzzer sounds, yeah, you can throw a technical if you want to, but it means nothing. The game is over. The worst he's going to get is, he might get a penalty where, they've got a technical on their record or something like that. They have to give up 2 points, something like that. It's been done before. Hold on. But I agree with everything. But the fact that the game wasn't over, then he did that, and then Kansas State obviously jumped in, punches were thrown, chairs were picked up, coaches got involved. It was absolutely ridiculous. This may very well cost Kansas a national championship, because I truly believe that even though I think Duke is the best team in the country, somebody asked me 2 weeks ago if I had to make a decision right here and now of who I think would win the national championship, I said Kansas, because Kansas has a little more experience on their team. Duke is so freshman heavy that's where it becomes very hard to win down the stretch when you are playing other teams that are elite like yourself. But the problem is this is definitely going to affect their chances within the Big 12. Once we see everything that comes out, that could affect your seeding. That could affect who you have to play early rounds. And then again, overall, this could spiral out into having, effects on the national championship. Not to mention, you've got one of your stars out indefinitely. Might be out the rest of the season. Guys, just so you know, if you are on my NFL season pass or 1 year all access pass, you will be getting an email by tomorrow. I'm going to try to have it finished tonight, but we're just going to see, guys. I just feel really bad. I was supposed to go in there and finish episode 5 of my podcast tonight with my partner. I don't even think I'm going to do that. So we'll just have to see. But by tomorrow at the latest, I will have my Super Bowl preview done. This will be a prediction for the side of the game, and it will also give, just like I did last year, I will have about 10 prop bets that I will have money on, and that will be included. So if you are on my NFL season or 1 year all access, you're going to get that. You'll get an email. But if you're not, and you would like to get my Super Bowl prediction, it's going to be $25. It's going to give you my Super Bowl prediction itself along with my 10 prop bets for the Super Bowl. And you'll get everything for $25. You'll be able to place your wagers, obviously, well before the game, because it will be released at some point late tonight or tomorrow. I will send an email out to everyone. So even if you're not a customer of mine, if you want to sign up for an email chain, you can go to the website, sign up for an account. Just don't purchase anything. You'll get the emails, and I'll put it on social media and stuff too. But I've already got my prediction for the Super Bowl, I believe. I just want to finish my write-up, and then I want to do the prop bets all at the same time. Damn, Danny. Yeah, I got thoughts on a lot of them, but some of them might be on my card. Let me check a couple of these lines. Let's talk about a couple of dog plays. You guys know the rule. There's 41 people in here. There's only 15 likes. Y'all got to get that to 50 likes. That's number one. And if you are not on a package, obviously jump on. 3 days, 7 days, 30 days. It's going to be a good card tonight. Potentially 2 top plays or multiple top plays. I'm not going to say just 2 because numbers-wise, a few of them made the cut, but we'll see. Believe it or not, Duke actually made the cut of game of the month last night. But that should just show you how picky I truly am, because I didn't even rate it as a top play because of the fact that they have had the struggles they've had in the last 2 games, which I think we all knew they would bounce back at some point. Last night was a perfect spot, but sometimes you just got to see it before you truly believe it. All right, there was one game that I started looking into last night that I think is going to catch a lot of people off guard. Let me see what the line is. I've got one play that could potentially be a top play that I even laughed when I started going over this game as to the fact that this could be a top play. But it just, I don't know who fell asleep at the wheel on this one. All right, here we go. There it is. Sorry, William Hill is running slow. That must mean they're doing an update. Oh, that's good. We're catching it at the right time then. All right, here's one that people probably aren't going to agree with me on, but I don't care. Cincinnati's laying. William Hill's got 3 right now. I'm seeing 2.5 most of the way, but William Hill's got it at 3. I just put some money on Temple plus 3. I actually think Temple can win outright tonight at home. Defensively, they just play stifling defense, but see, that's Cincinnati's strong suit. That's their MO. That's what they come in with, the overwhelming advantage to so many people, especially in conference that they play. Well, if this was being played in Cincinnati, I don't think defensively Temple would be able to even make it a game. At home in Philly, I'm sorry. I think that Temple's got just as good of a defense as Cincinnati does on the road. And offensively, I think that with the pace of play, I think it's very close. But I think that Temple knows how to, I guess monitor their pace better is a good way to word it. To the point where we get into the later moments of the game, they've conserved just enough to be able to go on a run, get that crowd into it. And I can see Temple really walking away with a win here. So I like Temple. I'm going to take the 3 points. And I have put a half unit on it, so I put $5.50 to win 5 on it. This may, may very well make the premium cut when it's all said and done. But I went ahead and bet it about an hour ago just to get it in case, for whatever reason, I don't think it will. But who knows? We could see some late money coming in on Temple, and then obviously it doesn't propose as much value to me. No, I very rarely put a game of the week at 150. I can't remember the last time I did it. Top plays, yeah, I've done 145, 150, but I'm doing it with teams that are proven. Tampa Bay, Boston, even teams like St. Louis, things like that. With Colorado, Colorado's good, and at the beginning of the year they were fantastic, but Colorado makes a lot of stupid mistakes. Plus, you're having to take them on the puck line. Plus, I noticed that Bovada's lines were at like minus 185 on the puck line. So I'm like, well, I can release it based on 5 dimes in William Hill and be safe, but I know that half of my people are going to be out there getting 185 because they used Bovada. And I'm sorry, I'm just not going to wager that with that line. Capitals, I think, is the last time I've had a game. I mean, in baseball maybe, but in hockey, usually not. And not only that, I mean, if you look, Colorado almost shot themselves in the foot. They went down 1-0 very fast, and they almost went down 2-0. It should have been 2-0. And they didn't get penalized on that high sticking, which prevented that second goal. So it should have been 2-0 and a penalty. And again, who does Detroit beat? They beat teams that should clobber them. Yeah, Scott, I usually don't do that. Usually I'm just going to keep that to myself. But the thing is, that's why I kind of laid, I kind of let everybody know because, I mean, when the game was, well, I mean, we saw the game, obviously weeks ahead of time, but the problem was, obviously we have to see what happens the few games for both teams leading up to it. So I knew going into it the line was going to be high. I knew that it was probably going to rate, game of the week, month, whatever status. I just had a weird feeling the line was going to be too high, and it really was. That's why I couldn't do it. And Duke last night, Duke rated game of the month. So I had it all day listed as a top play. All day it was sitting right here written as a top play. My reasons why, everything. And then at the very end, I used my gut because of Clemson and Louisville and it being that freshman heavy, mindset that made me back off from it. And the thing is, I don't regret. I mean, I regret backing off of the fact that they won by 30, and that's exactly what I said they would do. But I don't regret it in the sense that because of what's happened over the past week with Duke, I actually made the right decision. Because here's the thing. Had they not covered by a couple of points, then everybody would be thanking me that they didn't. But most of the people laid it as a top play anyway just because I said that it rated high enough. So, again, that's on them. But they won, so. Yeah, Devin, I may have a couple of top plays. San Diego State proved to the world last night why they are not a top five team, nor will they be. Let me do this. Let me go pull my notes. Let's do my top 25 real quick. I've already given out one free play. Again, please don't put what it was in the chat. I just, it's I've noticed a little trend here. What people are doing. There is none, Mr. Winston. There is not. There's not any. It's all based on. Yesterday there were 3 plays. I've had days where there have been 10 when there's 160 games on. So there is none. It's all based on how many games are being played and where I can find edge and value in them and how many I personally wager. So yes, I have, Walter. Guys, please do me a favor. I've noticed a trend in people coming in like the very last couple of minutes of the chat and going, hey, what did I miss? What plays have been given out? And then somebody will put them in the chat and then they'll immediately leave. I get it. You're here for free plays and stuff, but I take the time out of my day to get everything set up. Like today when I'm sick and still running 102 fever. And if you can't hang out with us for a little bit, you shouldn't get the free plays. So whether you have to tune in for the live show or whether you have to go back and watch it, whatever, I think that it's only fair. You guys do that. I can note Walter, Jerry, Scott, Danny, Colton, Irie. God, there's too many to name, but you guys tune in every time I go live. You're here in the first 10 minutes and you stay till the very end. So if you guys don't mind, please, if somebody comes in and goes, hey, what did I miss? The live shows are going to start getting shorter. I'm going to start trying to keep it at an hour, but if they're not willing to actually watch, whether it be live or a replay of it, I would appreciate us not giving them out. Lotus, I haven't been on YouTube in 3 days. I'm on YouTube every single day, so that's asinine. I'm on YouTube every single day. I haven't been on in 2 days. This is my job. And you can go back and look. I get on YouTube at 11 a.m. every morning. And I'm usually on live for at least 2 hours. I do a free play video. I'm on Twitter throughout the day. This is what I do for work. And I think you're very well aware of that. And anybody here... No, Lewis, 10 plays in one day. Yikes, chasing, not for me. It's not called chasing. There's 160 games on. I didn't say I said I haven't been on in a few days. I was also in the hospital with 104 fever. So, yeah, sorry I didn't go live, but this is what I do for work. And you can go back and, you can look at all the videos that I do. If I had a job, I certainly wouldn't be going live at the times that I was throughout the week. All right, I'm going to go grab my notes. Let's do my top 25. Walter, run the chat for a second. I'll be right back, and then we'll do that. We have 28 likes, 29 likes, so we need 21 more, and we'll do a free premium play, which the temple play may end up making the card tonight, but I'm gonna give one that is for sure already on it. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I got some, Scott. Problem is, I think I had bronchitis at the same time. All right, Walter, run it. I'll be right back. All right. Oh, shit. All right, here we go. All right. Let's see what I missed. Mr. Winston, when did I say I was in the hospital last month? Please remind me of that. I'm starting to see a trend here with you, sir. Are you talking about when I had to go to the oral surgeon? Yeah, I ran to the ER because it was Thanksgiving Day, but I still did my videos every day. I had surgery. I wasn't sick. Oh, yay, T-Blizz, you called it. I see the trend too, sir. Mr. Winston, if you think I'm a part-time dude begging for money, you don't have to be here. There's 47 people in here because it's 3:30 on a Wednesday. There's 3,000 people that, if you want documents, go back and watch the videos. There's your documentation. Man, we know who you are. You're trying to get credibility, then go back and watch. All of these people are my clients. Why don't you ask them? If you think I'm shady, fine. I don't care. If I win, I say it. If I lose, I say it. All of these people would not be my long-term paying clients. You know what? Let's just go ahead and pull the IP address from Mr. Winston. That way I can just add that to the file. No, you haven't asked a question. You're asking a question that you can have the answer to. You're looking for some credibility. Oh, do you have documentation of your free plays? Yeah, go back and watch them. They're all documented. They're all on YouTube for the past 2 years. You said I was in the hospital last time. Obviously, you watch me plenty. If you know all this, so you should know how they're doing. Again, you contradict your own self. I asked you if you produced documents. What documents are you looking for, Mr. Winston? Shady people wanting money is all I see, I bet, with a barber shop. Okay, I don't know. It still doesn't tell me what you're looking for. All right. Let's do the top 25. Now, what I did was on Sunday, because that's when this shit really started to hit me, I still did the breakdown of on late Sunday night when all the games were finished. But because we don't go live on Mondays usually, we usually go on Tuesdays. But because yesterday I was just in the state that I was, I did a re-update early this morning of all the games that had gone on Monday and Tuesday. So these rankings, my personal top 25 rankings, this is through yesterday's games. Yes, Walter, I told everybody at the beginning of the show, hey, Evan, do you have proof of that, brother? And that's fine if it is. I'd like to have proof of it. Because then I'll throw it out there for everybody. But anyway, I'm going to be doing my Super Bowl prediction with write-up along with 10 prop bets. All are going to be, you're on a long-term package, so you're going to get it. All of my people that were on the NFL season as well as the one-year all-access clients, they'll all get it. People that are not on those, obviously you can purchase the package. It'll be 10 prop selections along with my Super Bowl prediction and write-up for $25. All right, so my top 25, and again, I'm not taking. Yeah, it's tough making all these live shows. This is not taking into consideration what happened last night during or at the end of the Kansas State game. Obviously, that's going to have effects on Kansas going forward. The problem is you can't ignore the stats. I mean, they still won by 21 points last night. So they're ranked what they're ranked in my system and nationally. Now this, again, we'll see what happened last night. We'll see the effects of that going forward. But for right now, we've just got to roll with, the facts. So my top 25, as of right this very moment, going into tonight's games. Number 1, Kansas. Number 2, Duke. Number 3, Dayton. Number 4, Baylor. Number 5, Louisville. Number 6, Gonzaga. Number 7, Michigan State. Number 8 is West Virginia. Number 9 is Maryland. Number 10 is Seton Hall. After that, we have San Diego State, Ohio State, 13 Arizona, 14 Iowa, 15 Florida State, 16 Butler, 17 Oregon, 18 Michigan, 19 is Kentucky, 20 is Wisconsin, 21 Villanova. I may have gotten that backwards right there. I may have gotten dyslexic for a second. So it's Wisconsin, Villanova, Kentucky, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Villanova in that order. And then we get into 22. I have Houston, 23, Illinois, 24, Rutgers, 25, Florida. Those are my top 25 rankings for college basketball. And everybody knows that I'm not a prop bet guy. I don't bet first quarters, first halves. I bet full games and full game totals. That's the way real handicappers do it. But tonight, I actually have wagered on a prop bet. It's not often that I do this. It will not become a habit. Typically, the only prop bets I lay are during the Super Bowl. I mean, I do that every year. And then throughout the season, I'll see a prop or something that intrigues me in certain situations that I'll go throw some money on. Tonight being one of those times. So I'm going to give it to you guys. I like Zion tonight over 12.5 points. And here's why. I think that, truth be told, I think Zion's always been overrated to a certain extent. Nothing he did in high school besides his pure athleticism impressed me because, again, he is he's been an NBA caliber type star since his freshman year of high school, and not one time in high school did he go play anybody. I mean, he played for against 5'8" prep school white boys that couldn't make an inner city team if they tried. That was his competition. At Duke, he played all right. He didn't do anything at Duke to make me go, oh, wow, this kid is the next Jordan, LeBron, so on and so forth. But do I think he'll be a good NBA star? I do, if he stays healthy. I think that his knees, because of doing all that high-flying shit in high school, I think he'll end up being Patrick Ewing in the knees. Here's the thing. You're not going to go out there and do what you did in high school in the NBA on a nightly basis. And being that you came in with so much hype around you, don't think that these guys that have paid their dues aren't looking to, show you who's boss. So it's hard to say this because the Spurs are so unpredictable. They're just so unpredictable this year. Are they a good team? Yes. Do they have a good coach? Yes. The best in the NBA. But you don't know what you're going to get on a nightly basis. Now, I don't think anybody's paying attention to the fact that the Pelicans have won 10 out of their last 14 without Zion. So when he comes in, his presence alone will make them more competitive. They're at home tonight. Do I think that they have a good chance to beat the Spurs? Sure. But all this hype around Zion, don't think that they're not going to feed him the ball. But here's the thing. With Popovich and the Spurs, I think that it could make it tough for him to get outside of double digits tonight, being that this is his first true NBA game. But here's why I think Zion can go over 12.5. I don't think he's going to be able to, go to the boards and just cream the other side. And obviously the odds makers don't either, because this is a kid that's probably going to average 18 to 20 points a game in the long run. He is. So for him to come out on a night where they're going to feed him the ball, if nothing else, just for showmanship, 12.5 should be easy. They're going to defend Zion hard. That's why I think he will go over. You would think, if he's going to get double teamed and defended hard, how is he going to score all the points? Is because he's going to go up. Zion's big enough where he doesn't have to worry about somebody out-bodying him underneath. He's going to go up. He's going to try to be high-flying and be the big spectator man. He's going to get fouled. He's going to get the benefit of the doubt with being fouled. He's going to get that home court advantage. I see the dude scoring 8 points from the line tonight. And because of that, I see his prop bet going over. Not really. I mean, kind of, Walter, but not really. I just bet 12.5 on William Hill. Not 10 minutes ago. And the only reason I chose William Hill is because 5 Dimes had it at 13.5, and I could get it at 12.5, but I'd have to lay 140. I laid 115 to do 12.5. You can. But Walter at 14.5. It's fun money. I actually laid a premium wager on 12.5 over. And I did it because I think he'll go to the free throw line a few times. 6 to 8 points from the line, I don't think will be hard for Zion to do. The only way he doesn't go over this is if they just put him on a lot of minute restrictions. Let him play 2 or 3 minutes, then pull him out. Let him play 2 or 3 minutes and pull him out. Damn, where are y'all getting all these? Because I'm staring at William Hill right now at 12.5. Yeah, they were. Well, they were letting me earlier when I looked at it, but I bet through William Hill. Okay, let me double check some of these lines because we're getting close to this 50 mark. And if anybody has not, episode 4, so a lot of people have been wanting my true, honest opinions of the whole Houston Astros Red Sox scandal, if you will. I mean, I know that we've briefly talked about it on here, but I haven't really gotten in detail. And I've gotten a lot of emails. People are like, hey, please give us your real opinion. And I said, if you want it, you'll have to tune into my podcast, Outfielders Anonymous. That got posted Sunday. So it is up. We've gotten more listeners on that podcast than we have ever for one episode. So thank you all that have already tuned in and given feedback. If you do listen to it on iTunes, please give us a 5-star. Please, listen to it on Spotify, wherever. Give good feedback. But we talk about that for pretty much the whole episode. We talk about all of the scandal going on. We've got another episode already planned out and ready. Thursdays is usually when we go in and do our initial recordings. I don't know that I'm going to feel up to doing it tonight, though. We'll see. We'll just have to see. But please go to wherever you get your podcast, Outfielders Anonymous. And there's a little coupon code in there for everybody if you're looking to purchase something. All right, let's see. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Let me check some of these lines of the games that I had circled and see if and what has changed. So once we get to these 50 likes, I can decide which one of these I want to give you. I've already bet a couple of these. I still don't understand that one. Let's go down and look at this. Danny, I mean, I don't think that I think it's a good acquisition, but another $18 million 1-year contract for the Braves, they're not, they need a new accountant. Because, I mean, they're just shelling out $18 million 1-year contracts. They don't fight for Josh Donaldson. He's making a stupid move by going to Minnesota. Randy, 5 dimes if you're going to be betting online. Bovada would be the last place I would ever recommend anybody to go. Because you will get shoddy lines. All right, we need 4 more likes, guys. If you have not hit the like button, hit it. 4 more likes because I'm wrapping this up here in a couple minutes. We should be back tomorrow for normal live show, hopefully at normal time. And like I said, I apologize for not being here yesterday for our normal show, but I'm honestly surprised that I decided to do it today. So we've given out a couple of plays today. If you're just now tuning in, go back. We do have a college basketball underdog play that I gave out. I gave out a prop bet, which I don't ever do, in the NBA tonight. And then I'm going to be giving away one play that has already made the premium card tonight here now. Shane, I'll get to that in just a second, but it is not a good move for Josh Donaldson. Okay. Here's a game. I mean, you guys may not even heard of these teams, but these are 2 teams, because I do follow lower tier conferences as heavy as I do, that I have followed very closely this year. One of the teams being the McNeese Cowboys, facing off on the road against Southeastern Louisiana. Now, these are teams that if you just look stat for stat, they're fairly, I don't even like saying even. They're close, though. The line based off that makes sense. If you look at, I think, what do the Cowboys have? They've got like, all right, Scott, see you, buddy. If you look at, the Cowboys have a 9-9 record, so they're 500, which is respectable for who they are. Southeastern Louisiana's 5-13, so you would say, like, okay, why wouldn't they be the underdog? Honestly, if you go off of the record and just the stats, then, you know, truth be told, I would say that this game should be 5 to 6 points in favor of the Cowboys. And that's just if you're looking off of pure stats. And then you take in home court. I wouldn't give Southeastern Louisiana a 3-point difference for home court like I would an in-conference, top-level conference team. I would say that it would be more around a point to a point and a half. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt and give them 3 points there. Then the 1.5 to 2 points makes sense. This right here, I'm seeing different lines everywhere. William Hill has a 1.5. 5 Dimes has the Cowboys at -2. Bovada has -2. Bet DSI has -2. Caesars has -2. So you're getting -2 pretty much across the board. Few 1.5s. But I tell you where the value lies here. Because at -1.5 with William Hill, it's at -115. 5 Dimes is -2 at -115, which that doesn't make a lot of sense. But nevertheless, on the road, laying a bucket in which I think that they truthfully, just on paper, would be 5 to 6 point, better. But if you actually look at where Southeastern Louisiana struggles versus where the Cowboys excel and vice versa, this is more of a mismatch than people think. Now, again, stat for stat, just on paper, these teams are a lot closer than their, respected records would suggest. But these are one of those games where you can tell that the odds makers are just going off of stats because this is a game that people just don't care about. The game's probably not going to bring in a lot of action. So why don't you just go off of stats, make it easy, put out a line, and you're probably the action that you are getting, if any, at the casino is going to be about 50-50. It's a very low-risk game. Truth be told, when I took stats out of it and just went off of personal stats as to how they match up to the other team, well, then I've got the Cowboys by minus 9.5. I can bet minus 130 right now on the Cowboys, on the money line, on the road, and I'm going to do it. I bet them last night, late, when I was starting to break this card down. I was actually sitting by my fireplace, bundled up, trying to sweat out a fever, and woke up at like 2 this morning and finally caught a little bit of wind and decided to start working on today's card. I bet it immediately at minus 1.5. I've gone back and since bet the money line for a full premium wager. So I've got now 2 wagers on this game. One at minus 1.5. The real premium wager is on the money line, minus 130. The McNeese Cowboys on the road over Southeastern Louisiana. That is your free premium play. Again, if you don't know who those teams are, good. Because that probably means that you're also not paying for a full-blown pay-per-view package, and you won't even be able to watch the game. Even better, do not get emotionally invested into them. This is a business transaction and nothing more. Bet the game, cash a ticket, and move on. So, that's 3 free plays for today. We've done it in right at an hour. Usually, if I felt better, we'd hang around for a little bit longer. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to get these plays finished up and out, and then I'm going to call it a day. And at the very least, take a break for a few hours before I have to start working on Thursday's card, because we've got to get back to normal tomorrow, guys. Okay, so Shane asks, what's stupid about Minnesota? Well, there's nothing stupid about Minnesota. And you brought up a good point. He has dominated at Target Field when he has played there. Also correct. But what you got to realize about Donaldson is I don't know, Casey. I haven't checked my email in quite a few hours. But I've also had 6 pages of games to go over. So I usually do emails once I get the plays done. I know I got your email yesterday if you were asking if your 5 days was up. I'll just have to look into it. I would assume so if you bought the 5 for the 5 for $50, because it's been over 5 days since I released it. But I'll just have to look, brother. But him being in the twilight of his career, the Braves coming out, and I don't know the exact details of that contract. I just know that the Braves offered him roughly $100 million in 4 years, which is what he was looking for before anybody made an offer on him. And he was already proving himself in Atlanta. Atlanta fans were loving him. Atlanta fans wanted him back. McNeese Cowboys. So the fans wanted him back. He was proving himself to be a vital piece of that team. He wanted to be there. He talked about how much he loved the city, loved the fans. It was feeling like home to him. He wanted to stay. He basically said at the beginning of it, give me $100 million in 4 years and I'm here to stay. This is where I want to end it all. Because he was even talking about not renting a house, buying one, and that being where he retired. They basically give it to him. Maybe it was $5 million shy. I don't know. But Donaldson's not Mike Trout. Donaldson's barely above average if you really want to talk about it. He's just in the tail end of his career. I think Donaldson is very well worth money for the next 2 years, and then he's a body for the 2 afters. He'll have some great games and some great spurts, but then he'll also have some time where he'd be just as valuable in Double-A as he would, at the big show. But now you're going to go somewhere where you're going to have to play in cold weather for the first 45 days of the season, number one. That's not good with the injuries that you've had as well as the age you're in. Number two, let's take all that out of it. Let's take all that out of it. Let's just go to the fact that Minnesota has been a contender, quote unquote, for the last couple of seasons. Odorizzi, all these pitchers, they're doing great. They're going to postseason. They don't have what it takes to win a World Series, and they still don't. And what's going to happen now is that Odorizzi and all these guys are coming to the tail end of their stuff. Guess what's going to happen? Minnesota can't keep them together. They can't afford them. That market can't afford them, and they know it. So now that this team's going to have to dismantle again, and it's going to be another 4 to 5 years rebuild to hope to get back to where you were. That's the type of team Minnesota is. They build up a team like this. They know that they're going to go to the postseason for a couple of years. They cross their fingers, hope that everything falls into place the right way so that they can win a World Series. More than likely it doesn't happen, but they've stayed competitive enough to put asses in seats. And then when the big contracts come, they can't do it, and they have to start all over again. And then what do? Hopefully once every 20, 30 years you win a championship. Josh Donaldson is going to have to play half of this contract with a team that's in full-blown rebuild mode, and he's going to be known as an average player on a below-average team, and that's not going to be the way that you want to end your career. I'm sorry. You should have stayed in Atlanta, where I can promise you, even if you went into a tailspin 2 years from now, Atlanta's trending upward, not downward. Atlanta is going to be a contender, per se, for the next 4 to 5 years if they stay healthy. And I think within 2 years, depending on what Philly does and depending on what the Mets do, because I do see the Nationals starting to fall off in 2 or 3 years, the Braves could be a front runner in the East again, and they could really make a run at a World Series. Would you not rather be there in Atlanta, Georgia, than having to go to Minneapolis and, be competitive for 2 years and then for 2 years be in full-blown rebuild mode and you're the old guy? Nah, that's a dumb decision for him. I don't even see him playing out his full 4 years. He'll end up having to take a pay cut. He'll be out in 3. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. If you're just now tuning in, we gave away a free premium play in college basketball, gave away a nice underdog play in college basketball that I really like, gave a prop bet away for the NBA, which I never do. Plays will be out well before game times tonight. I'll check everyone's emails the second I have a chance to. Again, still moving slow. Check out the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcast. It's any podcast platform you can think of. We're on 15 different ones, so wherever you get your podcast, please go like, support, and listen to my baseball podcast, Outfielders Anonymous. We have a podcast announcement coming up, hopefully tomorrow. I have 2 new podcasts launching. Both have to do with sports betting. They are both full-time, all-year-round podcasts. I will be the host of both of them. They will be under the umbrella of my company, Bleacher Bum Media Group. So we will announce those hopefully this week once I get the approval to do so. I've submitted all paperwork. It's been approved. I now just have to get it, notarized and sent back and say you are good to go. If somebody tries to use your name, you can sue them, yada, yada, yada. So hopefully we'll be able to announce those. And then if that's the case, then starting next week, 2 new podcasts will launch, all sports betting related, all in real time, all with free plays, free leans, yada, 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 yada. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be back to somewhat normal tomorrow. I'll be feeling better than I was as this flu starts to leave me. And if all goes well, we will be live at our normal time, 11 a.m. tomorrow. So if you're just now tuning in, rewind it back, watch the show, get the free plays, and let's go cash some tickets. If you are not on a package, please do so. ChaseWins.com, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, month pass, whatever you want to get on. There should be multiple top plays tonight. It's going to be a big day. And then going into tomorrow, kicking off a very, very big weekend. Possible game of the weeks and months coming up here very shortly. I will keep you informed. And my Super Bowl package, which comes with full game breakdown, analysis, and prediction, as well as 10 personal prop bets that I am making. $25 I will announce when that is ready and available. So I will see you guys. KC, please don't take this the wrong way, but I made an announcement at the very beginning. What were the picks? And somebody putting them in the chat, and then they leave. So they just come in, get it. They don't take the time. Now you want to have a top play. Not sure what you mean by that. I have a top play almost every day. Just haven't the past 2 days because, well, if you were on my package, you saw why. It was in the write-up. That doesn't mean I force one. But anyway, And I just don't think it's fair to the people that, like myself, and the people that take an hour or two out of their day every day to come in and watch it. I do these shows well early enough to where you can always go back and rewatch it, get all the plays, the breakdowns, so on and so forth. So we will not be doing that anymore. And I know it's not you. What I'm saying is, I don't think you were here for me to make that announcement. So at least you know now. So, I think you were here for the McNeese Cowboys play, but I did give one other college basketball play and one NBA prop bet, which I never do. So, all right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be at the normal time.